Hello, Salem. Hi, this is Terry Moore, and I'm glad to be here. Excited for this brand new day that God has given us. Today, we want to talk about life, and life happens. John 13:17 says this. The Good News Translation says, now that you know this truth, how happy you will be if you put it into practice. Knowing provides a basis for doing, right? Not only does knowing lead to feeling some kind of way, which leads to doing, but there is a reciprocal relationship between doing and knowing. Having said that, life happened. What does life stands for? Life stands for love, invest, focus, and expand. I'll say it again. Love, invest, focus, expand. That's life as an acronym. And the first letter is L, love. Jesus said in Mark 12:30, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and with all of your mind and with all of your strength. And the second is like this: love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these two. So if we get the first one right, the second one will follow. So having said that, if we love God the most, we'll love others the best. I'll say it again. If we love God the most with everything we got, we will love others the best. And these two go hand in hand. So love is the first letter of the word life, love. God said, love your neighbor as yourself. But first, we got to love God with everything we got: mind, body, soul, spirit, strength, and the other will follow. Love God the most, will love others the best. Moving on. The next letter is I, invest. Well, what do you mean, Terry? Invest. You want to invest my money? What do you want? No, invest in yourself. Reinvent yourself. Yes, the pandemic has had us down for a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been. And now we're coming up from under. So it's time to do things differently. Life happens, right? So reinvent yourself. In Philippians chapter 3:13, Paul said, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do is forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Well, Terry, what do you mean reinvent yourself? Well, Paul mentioned, he said this one thing, then he mentioned three things. So the first thing was he mentioned forgetting. Yes, once again, the pandemic has had us down. Let's forget all of that stuff that happened prior to the pandemic. Let's move forward now that we have a new day, a new chance at life, a restart, a reset. So we forget those things behind. So it takes faith to forget because we're moving forward now. This is brand new territory. We're moving forward. It takes faith to forget. Then he said, I'm reaching forth unto those things that are before us, the goals that we set, the new look that we have, the new things that we're trying. We're going back to school, getting our education, starting our business, and making new friendships, new relationships. We got to reach. Watch this now. If it doesn't cause you to stretch or get uncomfortable when you're reaching, then you're not reaching. You're only grabbing what's near you. In other words, you're still stuck in the same place where you are because you're comfortable there. Get out of that comfort zone. Change the way you look. Change the way you do things. Change the way you think about things. Change the way you react to things. Life happens. And I said earlier, Jesus said, now that we know this truth, we ought to feel some kind of way and act on that feeling, right? So change what you're doing, change how you've been doing it. And then the third thing Paul said is, I press toward the mark or the goal or prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. In other words, focusing on that blessed hope. What is that? The crown of life, being with Jesus when he comes again. And the third letter, moving on, the third letter in the word life is F, focus. Focus, to direct one's attention or efforts. Being focused now in this present time moment means that you're solely focused on one activity that you are trying to complete, one goal that you are trying to complete. If you are or have or thinking or planning to reinvent yourself, there's a goal that needs to be set. There are things that need to be done. There are goals that need to be reached. We can only get there when we focus. Being focused is not having distractions, is not, believe it or not multitasking. Now, I have no problem with multitasking, but multitasking sometimes is a big hurdle when you're concentrating on one goal. It can spread you thin. It can cause less productivity. So you want to stay focused. And I said, stop multitasking because it's a hurdle, it's my opinion, and staying focused. And it's a loss of productivity. You need to concentrate on that one thing. Those that are gifted and blessed to do more than one thing at one time and do it equally good, fantastic. For me, I need to focus on the one goal that I have set in mind, and I'm going on that one at a time, right? Moving on. The last letter in life is E, expand or extend. Our experiences causes us to be exposed. And once we're exposed, we can either extend or expand. And watch this now, because people are connected to us, connected to our lives. Our expansion is someone else's extension, or our extension is someone else's expansion. We have to be very careful about who's watching us and know that we are being watched and people are connected to us. Your experience causes you to be exposed, whichever way you mean. And this is very, very powerful here. When you get on your knees to pray, that's the first thing. We need to have a prayer regimen, a prayer life. When you get on your knees to pray, that brings you in before the face of God. So you're exposed to God. That experience there, that's an experience. You're exposed to God. And once you are exposed to God, things should change. Things ought to change. Your prayer life causes things to change. We study more, study the word. It causes things to change because we're being exposed to the truth and the promises of God. And now that Jesus said, now that you know this truth, you ought to feel some way, some type of way, and we are to act out on it. Once we are exposed to God, yes, once we are exposed to his greatness, to his promises, we can move forward and expand our lives. Go get your education, finish your education, open your business, or start your business, mend relationships within the family, mend relationships with your friends. Time is too short to have all of these rifts and all of that. It's time out for that. We have to mend our relationships. You know what? Build our prayer life, build our word life, our word study life. Read more, read books, whatever it is that you plan or want to do. You're expanding your life, and your expansion of your life is extending someone else's. And so our experiences, watch this, determines our expression. For those of us that are in the music ministry or into church, our experiences determines our expression. If you don't know God to be a healer, you can't express that God is a healer. If you don't know God to be a mind regulator, you can't express or act out that God is a mind regulator, right? Our experiences determine our expressions. And these things play out as far as our expansion and our extension and people connected, that is connected to us, being brought to their greatness or their point to where they want to be great like you. Greatness comes only when we make a difference in the lives of people around us. I'm saying it again. Greatness comes only when we make a difference in the lives of people around us. For good, the word good or the act of good is the enemy of great. Don't just be good, be great. Yes, perfection is for a moment. Excellence is practice. That's a lifestyle. Excellence, being a champion at what you do. Life happens. And that's our theme for today. Life happens. Be blessed. Give God all the glory and honor and praise as you walk with him. Be blessed. Thank you.